Hello, and welcome to Foundations for Algebra, Unit 3A, Lesson 8. Today's objective is scholars will use the Pythagorean Theorem to find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane. So, let's look real quick at these questions. Remember that you should be filling in your notes as we go. How far apart are these points? So in order to do that, the first thing to do is I'm going to look at these points. So the point 1, 4 is over 1 and up 4. It goes right there. And then I have the point negative 3, 4. So I go left 3 and up 4. Well, that one's pretty easy. I can simply count and see I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So the distance between those 2 points is simply 4. Let's look at the other one. I've got the point negative 1, 2. So I go left 1 and up 2. And then I have the point negative 1, negative 3. So I go left 1 and down 3. Again, this one's not real hard. I can see I can count just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units between that. So then the answer is these ones are 5 apart. Nice and easy. Those ones we don't even need to do anything. I can just look at them on the graph, right? But now let's look at these points. So I have the point 1, 3, which is over 1 and up 3, right here. And the point negative 3, negative 1. So I go left 3 and down 1. Well, I can't just count, because I need to sort of move diagonally in between these to find this distance. That's the distance I need to find. What I can do, however, is I can make a triangle. So if I connect these by coming down and over, I make a right triangle with the hypotenuse is the length between those points. Yeah, you all know my drawing, not always great. So here's my right angle for my hypotenuse. That's pretty, for this, definitely my hypotenuse there. I can use my Pythagorean theorem. So this side here is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. This side here is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So my two legs are 4 and 4. So to use my Pythagorean theorem, I simply go 4 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. Remember, I'm finding side c. Well, 4 squared is 16 plus 16 equals c squared. 16 and 16 is 32 equals c squared. But I don't want what c squared is. I want what c is. So I have to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 32 equals c. Since 32 is not a perfect square, that is my exact answer. If I want to check what it is approximately, I can put it in my calculator. And when I take the square root of 32, and if I want to round it to the nearest tenth, it is 5.65. And it keeps going, so when I write it, 5.65 becomes 5.7 is approximately equal. Remember those wavy lines, approximately equal to c. That's my approximate answer. Okay, let's try another one. So here, my points are 0, 4, so I stay right in the middle and go up 4. There's that point. My other point is 4, negative 2. I go over 4 and down 2. Again, I can make a triangle with a right corner right here. And then that is my distance between my hypotenuse is the distance between these points. So again, I'm going to count the squares that make up each side. The bottom is 4 units. The side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So again, I'm going to do 4 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. 4 squared is 16. 6 squared is 36 equals c squared. 16 plus 36 is 52 equals c squared. So I have the square root of 52 equals c. Again, that's my exact answer. And then again, I can put it into my calculator. And do the square root of 52 gives me 7.21. So I just drop off the 1 equals C, and that's my approximate answer. Make sure you're filling in your notes. Okay, one more example here. So I have negative 1, 1, which I go left 1 and up 1. And then I have the point 4, negative 4. I go over 4 and down 4. Again, I can make my triangle. And I can see, right there's my right angle. The bottom is 5. The side is 5. And I have my side C. So I have 5 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. Well, 5 squared is 25 plus 25 equals C squared. 50 equals C squared. Take my square root. So I have the square root of 50 equals C. Again, that's my exact answer. And if it doesn't tell you to round, you can leave it as that. My rounded answer is 7.07. Again, so I'm rounding. I get rid of the 7. And I'm going to make that 0 change to a 1. 0.07 changes to 0.1. Is my approximate answer for C. That's my approximate answer. Okay, so here's a formula that does the same thing. So let's say you don't have a piece of graph paper or your numbers are really big. This is the Pythagorean Theorem. It's doing the same thing I'm doing. But in order to find your lengths, you notice what they're doing. They're just subtracting x minus x and then squaring it, subtracting y minus y and then squaring it. So that gives us our two sides, adding them together and taking the square root, which is what we've been doing. But let's try that. So for this top one, I have my x's are, the square root of, let's see, I have negative 10 minus negative 5 squared plus 5 minus 7 squared. Well, negative 10 minus negative 5 is negative 10 plus 5, which is negative 5. So this is negative 5 squared plus 5 minus 7 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared. So negative 5 squared is 25. Remember the negatives in there in the parentheses. So I have 25 plus 4, because 2 squared is 4. So it's the square root of 29, which if I want my approximate value would be 5.4. Approximately 5.4. And then if we look at this bottom one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take the square root of our we're going to subtract our two x's. So I have 4 minus negative 3 squared plus negative 8 minus 2 squared. Well, 4 minus negative 3 becomes 4 plus 3, which means that is 7 squared plus negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10 squared. So I have the square root of 49 plus 100, which is the square root of 149. Again, that's my exact answer. If I put it into a calculator, I can see the square root of 149 is 12.2. Okay, go ahead and try those on your own, and I will see you all in class.